Coming up on THV 11 News at noon, we're following breaking news, the latest ruling on the state's mask mandate law. A live report coming up. Plus, fall camp for the Hogs gets underway in just a matter of hours. St. Pittman's expectations for the upcoming season. And later, American athletes continue to add to their medal count on the field. The latest from the Tokyo Games coming up. Hello and thanks for watching THV 11 News on this Friday. I'm Michael Aaron in for Amanda Yeager. Breaking in just the last hour, an Arkansas judge has temporarily blocked the state from enforcing a law that prevents schools and other governmental agencies from requiring masks. THV 11's Ian Russell is live in Little Rock with details on today's ruling. Ian.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, the big news out of the courthouse this morning is that Judge Tim Fox has blocked the enforcement of Act 1002. Remember, that's the state's ban on mask mandates. Now, Judge Fox did acknowledge that the act violated equal protection between public and private schools here in Arkansas, and that was a big point for the plaintiffs, made up of concerned parents and even school districts like the Little Rock School District and the Marion School District, which is out a little bit closer to Memphis. Now, they argued that there was a difference in how the act applied to public and private schools. They said public schools can't mandate masks while private schools are allowed to. The Marion School District superintendent said this is obviously the first step towards getting the act amended or removed, but he said it is a good one. Now, parents also told me the same thing. They said this is just a little victory, but it is still a win. A lot of things coming out of the courthouse today, and I'll have a full report coming up later on THV 11 News at 5 and 6. But for now, let's send it back to the studio. Michael.
Ian, thank you. The governor is set to sit down with reporters today at 1 o'clock in less than an hour now. Our Ashley Godwin will be there, and we will live stream the conversation on our website, thv11.com. And as Ian mentioned, the latest on all of this tonight at 5 and 6. Time now for us to take a first look at the forecast. Meteorologist Scott Covert is here. Scott, you have promised changes. I was just outside a few minutes ago, and it was hot and it was muggy and
already feeling a bit more steamy, right?
I missed yesterday.
I'm
happy it's Friday, but I missed
yesterday. Happy it's Friday indeed. It's only going to get a bit warmer going into this week, and we've seen a lot of rain actually today in some parts of the state. That's kept that thermometer actually a bit lower. Let's take a look at our radar. We're already tracking some tapering off of those rain showers. Most of that rain activity now confined to north central Arkansas. Taking a closer look into parts of Stone and Van Buren County, that's where most of that rain has been this morning. That's where it continues to be. In the metro, some light shower activity near Cabot, Jacksonville, and Lone Oak. Light is the remaining is how it will remain over the next hour. We do expect that rain to come to an end by around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Here's what we've picked up: about 2.5 inches in Clinton. Temperatures right now sitting at 80 degrees in Little Rock. Will warm up to 87. We're only going to get warmer this weekend. More details coming up.
On the topic of masks, there is plenty of information out there that is simply not true. We've heard from parents concerned about masks in school. Many are wondering how the state reaches a point where people are immune to the virus. THV 11's Frederick Price takes the big questions straight to medical experts.
Wearing the mask is a very effective tool. It's very safe for kids.
One of the best defenses against COVID-19 is the vaccine and masks, but some believe for children who cannot get the shot, masks are not the safest option. Dr. Chad Rogers with AFMC says that is simply not true.
We also know in children from decades of research, especially children with cystic fibrosis, which is a lung disease, that those kids have worn masks to protect themselves from viruses and bacteria.
Many parents asked us if water droplets can go through cloth masks. Rogers says respiratory droplets are too large to pass through most cloth masks, making that claim false.
You know, when they cough or sneeze can be pretty large. Most cloth masks are going to filter that out, but still allow for oxygen to come in and carbon dioxide to go out.
So now, herd immunity, what is it?
Enough people in the community who are immune or have some immunity to whatever virus or bacteria is spreading.
Meaning when a person who was immune to a virus is near someone else, the virus does not spread. Dr. Jennifer Dillahay says herd immunity can happen in two ways: natural infection, which means everyone gets the virus and become immune, a more deadly approach. Another way, the vaccine.
If you are able to vaccinate a high enough proportion of the people in the population so that they're immune to the virus or the bacteria, that then they're protected.
And determining the percentage before a community can reach herd immunity depends on how infectious the disease is. The Delta variant is more aggressive, so Dillehay estimates a higher percentage than what experts originally thought.
It's going to have to be much higher than what some of the initial estimates are. So I would think in excess of 85%.
That was Frederick Price reporting for us this afternoon. Another reason the vaccine is so highly encouraged, it's shown to reduce hospitalizations and death, and that's important as the staffing shortage at Arkansas hospitals reaches a critical point.
It's devastating to the healthcare workers. They're tired. People are leaving the bedside. They don't want to do this anymore.
Nurses are leaving the workforce as burnout reaches a new high for healthcare workers in Arkansas. The state's Nurses Association says a nurse could see up to 6 regular patients a day or 3 or more ICU patients. It's leaving them overworked and mentally exhausted.
I've had, mental health professionals reach out to me, and we're looking at, how we can put together some resources to support them.
The state is considering incentives for nurses to stay on the job. That includes paying travel nurses up to $270 an hour. The money would come from the American Rescue Plan. New at noon now, the U.S. economy added over 900,000 jobs in July, and the unemployment rate fell just over 5%. That's a new low of the pandemic era. It was the biggest job gain since August of last year. Since May 2020, America has added 16.7 million jobs. That is still 5.7 million short of pre-pandemic levels. President Joe Biden says the economy is headed in the right direction.
The unemployment rate is the lowest since the pandemic hit. The bottom line is this: what we're doing is working.
For a closer look at the numbers, you can visit thv11.com. Happening today, Razorback football jumps into overdrive as fall 2021 camp kicks off. After 3 SEC wins in 2020, Razorback fans would love to see this team get to a bowl game in 2021. Sam Pittman knows his standards. Now he wants to see his players run with it. Here's what he had to say at Razorback Media Day.
We'll certainly have our expectations, but you'd like for the expectations to be met by the players. And that's when you have a pretty good football team and they feel like they own the team. And so that's probably the number one deal, because coming out of the spring and coming out of summer, you felt like the team was getting ready to take its ownership of themselves.
We'll have full coverage of the Hogs' first day at camp coming up in sports tonight at 6 and 10. Tax-free weekend has arrived in Arkansas. Once the clock strikes midnight tonight to 11:59 Sunday night, you can buy all kinds of things without paying a penny of sales tax. And that list of items includes some big additions this year.
So we're one of 17 states that have a holiday from sales tax.
And that holiday lasts all weekend in Arkansas as students get ready for a new school year.
We've had 10 years of Arkansans going to the stores, ordering online, and having this wide range of products that are tax-free.
The list of tax-free products includes school supplies, art supplies, clothing items under $100, and new this year, computers, cell phones, and tablets.
I think we knew that these items played a role in education, but as we all know now, over the last year, if you watched a student in school, whether they were in person or virtual, to get through the day in some capacity, they had to have one of these items.
According to DFA spokesperson Scott Harden, Arkansas shoppers save a projected $5 to $6 million each tax-free weekend. Money that would otherwise end up in the state treasury.
It's money that the state loses, but it's a good reason to lose money. At the end of the day, if there are several $1 million that are in the pockets of Arkansans on Sunday night.
The exemptions not only apply to brick and mortar stores, but also online retailers, so long as the items are shipped to Arkansas. Even so, Harden says to be ready for crowded shopping centers.
I think people enjoy going out as families, friends, going and buying.
And he offers this big piece of advice.
My message would be, one, look at the list, because if you assume your item is not on the list, it very well may be. Again, it's such an interesting wide range of items.
And not all of those items are necessarily tied to the start of the school year. We have the full list for you over on thv11.com.